All right, after a shocking last-minute scratch before their game Monday night, 49ers star running back Christian McCaffrey is in serious doubt now to play week 2 and potentially further beyond that. The all-pro running back has been nursing a calf injury. Most of training camp, he's been limited in pretty much everything he's done. But the Niners have been adamant that he'd be ready to go week 1, and everyone really kind of ignored it, wasn't really nervous about it. McCaffrey, the consensus number 1 pick in fantasy football, but there started to be a little bit of hesitation on him. Oh no, what does this calf injury mean? And McCaffrey's got a long history with injuries. We know that he had a ton of missed time in Carolina, but he's been relatively healthy in San Francisco. He practiced all week with a calf injury, limited participant, and was listed questionable before the Monday night game. And that pretty much means he's going to play in the NFL. If you're a limited participant and you're questionable, you're probably going to play. The doubtful designation is usually the one where they're not going, and it's like non-practice, doubtful, but limited all week. Everyone felt good about it. But last minute, right when the actives came out Monday night, McCaffrey was out. In steps in backup Jordan Mason, who had himself a day. But then Kyle Shanahan comes out, and it's not really a calf injury. I mean, I guess technically it's a calf injury, but they lied to us. It's Achilles tendonitis, which is far more severe. We know about the Achilles. We know how important and protected those things are, but Achilles tendonitis can kind of flare up on you. So maybe McCaffrey was feeling good throughout the week practicing, and then on Monday night, it just kind of hit him and he was a no-go. But the 49ers did say if it was a playoff game, McCaffrey would have played, but it's not a playoff game. It's week 1, and this stuff doesn't necessarily go away. This could be a serious long-term thing that's nagging him throughout the season. And not only that, you gotta do lower workouts and just workout stretching to get rid of it. Because according to the Mayo Clinic, this definitely will weaken the Achilles tendon and can lead to a higher risk for an Achilles tear. If he tears his Achilles, he's out for the season, and maybe, he's slowed down for a year, and maybe Christian McCaffrey is never the same as an elite tier running back if something like that happens. So the 49ers have to play this safe. And they're saying, he's up in the air for week 2, but it really sounds like from inside reports that he is a very long shot to play this week against the Minnesota Vikings and probably further beyond that. This is something that you don't want to hear if you're a 49ers fan or a fantasy football owner. Now, obviously, the Niners took care of the Jets with backup Jordan Mason, but Jordan Mason is a backup for a reason. Now, Christian McCaffrey is probably the best running back in football, but you can't necessarily have that sustained level of success from a guy like him, especially when teams are going to prepare for him, and they gave him a ton of carries. It felt like they were giving him the ball like McCaffrey was coming back this week, but it sounds like he's not. Now, this could maybe all be smokescreens from the 49ers, and I do think we need to maybe get a little bit of investigation on their reporting of this injury because it screwed over a lot of people when it came to, sports betting, fantasy football, things of that nature. Just calling it a calf injury, saying a limited participant. It's an Achilles injury, okay? This is far more severe than just a regular calf strain, a calf pull, a sore calf. We're not worried about you tearing your calf. Yes, you can tear your calf, but it's not as fragile or vulnerable as that Achilles tendon, and that's going to put him out for the season. The big question is, how are they going to handle this? Like I said, probably not going to play this week, but how long is this going to nag McCaffrey? It's a serious, serious problem with McCaffrey that he has this long-term history of injuries just piling up, racking up, and missing significant time. He missed 23 games in Carolina with hamstring issues, shoulder issues. He's had some of that stuff here in San Francisco, but he's been mightily healthy. This has been the one thing that's kind of knacked McCaffrey's career. He's all-world talent, but he hasn't been able to stay on the field. But last few seasons in San Francisco, he's been great. I'm very concerned that this could be a long-term issue for him throughout the season. And I think it's going to be a lot more than 2 weeks. Maybe he misses 2 weeks, plays the third week. It's re-aggravated. He's out for another 3 to 4 games. I think this could be a season for hell for Christian McCaffrey and potentially the 49ers. Now, they do have a ton of other weapons. They have one of the best offensive play callers in the history of football in Kyle Shanahan, so they might be able to overcome losing a guy like McCaffrey for significant time. But it's Super Bowl or bust for the 49ers, and it's pretty clear you have to, and I repeat, you have to have a healthy Christian McCaffrey if they want any shot of getting over the hump which is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Niners pretty much run the NFC. They've been to the NFC Championship game like every single year. It feels like under Kyle Shanahan when they have a quarterback who's healthy. And Brock Purdy, a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship game appearance, and he tore his elbow in one of them. He could easily have 2 Super Bowl appearances in 2 years, and it feels like San Francisco has to finally get over that hump this year, or we're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck. It's going to blow up. It's going to implode on your face. But this is bad news and a bad start to the season. Now, they did get the win, but I'd be worried. Minnesota, not a pushover quite potentially. They looked pretty good against the Giants. It is the Giants and Daniel Jones who are terrible. But I think this is a concerning sign for the long-term success of the Niners this year. You got to have Christian McCaffrey. You got to have Christian McCaffrey healthy, because the last thing you want to do is run him out there, have this flare up, have a weakened Achilles, and then have the Achilles go snap on you. He's done for the season. And it's not only just like he's out for the season, they lose their entire emotional and it's like just such a devastating gutting blow having a guy like Christian out for the season if something like this happens. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you worried about McCaffrey long-term for the season? Do you think he'll be able to get back out there, maybe just sit out a couple weeks this week also after missing week 1, get back out there, take over, dominate, do what he needs to do? Or you think this is going to be nagging him throughout the season, going to be a long-term issue and potentially be a serious setback for the Niners? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool perks, things like that. And if you want to go see one of your favorite teams in person, check out SeatGeek.com. Use code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.